We're back with another review of issue 2 of MMPR The Return. And when reading this issue, I had to go back and look at issue 1 because I thought I missed something. Like, I know in this story that Kimberly is talking about what happened about, I think, 20 odd years ago. But I thought that I missed something completely and had to rework and go back on it and go, oh no, it doesn't state anything. And I feel like this could have been one that would added a few pages or something to it. It felt like you're missing the entire story of why the Rangers are on the moon, even though that they say, oh, you know, for Zordon and Alpha. I would have liked to have seen the command center get absolutely destroyed. And I don't know if this is going to be a thing where it's like issue 3 and then it shows more of it, or near the end, because I think there's only like 4 issues in this. So I would kind of like to see the destruction of the command center rather than just the, oh, they went to the moon, they destroyed the bad guys, and then that was it. And that's pretty much the whole thing done. But yeah, like it felt very weird to me. Like I wanted to kind of see more. So for the first couple of pages in this, you are seeing the Rangers fight like Rita and Zed's forces on the moon. We have putties, we have old monsters, we have Goldar, as well as Scorpina saying, hey, I want to like take on the Rangers. And they're like, yeah, just go for it, you go fight it, you know, and my name's Lord Zed. And I say, yes, you can go and you can go fight them. Can you imagine I say, my name's Lord Zed, and I say, yes, you can. But that was it. Like, you know, you have this whole massive fight. You have Tommy and Kimberly running into the palace. One thing that's said is like Rita is suddenly like wandering off, and I don't kind of understand why. She says like she has to go wake someone up, someone has to be there, and I don't know if it's someone else, because it feels like it could be a kid or something like that, or it feels like it could be something different. It feels like she's wanting Squat to be there. Like, it's really weird, because if it's Squat, why would you want Squat there? Because you just wouldn't care, because he's not really that important, considering, like, say, with Babu as well. Those like minions that just kind of get pushed to the side. So I was generally very much like going, okay, why are you going after one character? So it feels like it's somewhere there that is more important. Also, when looking at Billy, like, it feels really out of character for Billy, because I thought he would be the one like, oh, we can't really do this. But he's like more like, yeah, just let's freaking do this. Let's fucking go, guys. You know, this is how it is. Set the timer, you know, then you have a set amount of time and then cheese it out of there. But I feel like Billy just was out of character a little bit. But again, this is a completely different version of the characters. So maybe this is a good thing. Maybe this is actually like the real Billy. It's like, yeah, we're just going to blow everyone up. You have to do this. You have to do that. And then just kind of like get out of there. One of the funniest lines in this, I think, is when suddenly Rita goes into the bedroom. She sees like Tommy and Kimberly. She goes, one day they're having food fights, etc., and then they're planting bombs in your bedroom. And I generally thought that was a really funny line. I think this is so far the funniest line in the actual issue itself. But I was like, that's actually really funny. And it's something that I think I would say if I was on that receiving end. I'd just be like, oh shit, well, this has happened. I would really like to see some more of this humor in the next couple of issues as well. Now, I do kind of find it weird that, you know, you have like just the normal Zords. You don't have the Dragon Zord there. Maybe it's the point that Tommy's there, so he's not able to control it properly. Same thing like with Kimberly. But you generally think that Billy would have come up with some sort of idea to kind of control the Zords, to kind of move them around, you know, on like autopilot or something. Or maybe they need to be in there. Who kind of knows on this one? But for me personally, I was just like, oh, okay, it would be cool to see the Dragon Zord, because you would see the missiles coming from his hands to kind of do like from long range attacks or far away attacks, whatever. Long range attacking, that would be the thing. Like the Dragon Zord could just be set to constantly fire missiles at the bad guys rather than just having to walk about with Tommy being there. I think that would have been a cool addition, but obviously the Dragon Zord's now still back on Earth. Same thing as like with the Pterodactyl. And that is obviously there because, you know, in the first issue, Billy and Zach say, yeah, like, you know, you could use the Pterodactyl to fly around and we can see it. And you kind of don't realize this until issue 2 that it hasn't been destroyed. And that's kind of a spoiler now. But yeah, that's effectively it. Rita starts fighting, starts actually attacking the Rangers, which again is something that we don't normally see, which I think is kind of a really nice, refreshing like thing to see, but I generally wanted the Rangers to go in harder. You know, you just had Zordon and Alpha be destroyed, and it feels like you're not putting enough effort into it, if it makes sense. Like, I want to see more fighting. Like, I feel like they could have gone even further to kind of attack, to actually fight better. Is that a word? Fight better? But, you know, I just kind of really wanted to see it. But then seeing the kind of the bomb get damaged, you kind of saw it happening. It's one of those things of like, there has to be tragedy in this. So you know that at some point either the bomb would have malfunctioned and Billy would have been like, oh God, or the fact is it gets damaged, and that's exactly what happens. Tommy crashes into it, and I'm just like, God damn, like I see why they're doing that. But again, it's very predictable, and also how the very end of this issue is as well is very predictable. Now, one of the things that did shock me is when Kimberly fires an arrow straight through her chest and kills Rita. And I generally thought I probably would have shot a few more into her to make sure she's dead, because we know what happens. She is a magical being. She could literally just be recharging or re-energizing later. So you kind of think, I'm gonna go a bit further. I can make sure there's at least 5 arrows in her, so she is definitely dead. Or maybe just, you know, leave the dragon dagger straight in there, so she is completely dead and not gonna come back at some point. Or you think, damn, she could come back at some point. So to me, I was like, oh man, like I really wanted to see more of that, but it was a very big shock to see an arrow sticking out of her chest and Kimberly doing that. Like, you never would have thought of that. It was something a bit different. The next couple of pages aren't too bad. It's Tommy saying goodbye to Kimberly, saying, hey, you need to go. There was some bad stuff that was going to happen in the mission, and this is going to happen. So, you know, you go, you live, you do everything. You know, this is what the agreement was. And suddenly, like, the bomb does go off, and you see the Rangers have teleported back to Earth. And when you're looking at this one, like, image where you have like Squat running back in saying like, you know, Rita's dead to Lord Zed, and then suddenly you hear a what? And then you see the monsters going like, yeah, we've defeated the Rangers, the Zords are now gone. And then you just see this whole white flash, and it's just a boom. You could literally hear that one image. And I generally really wanted like the next page to be completely silent, because that's how I would imagine it. The bomb goes off, the Rangers have teleported straight back to the command center, and that's it. Like, they could have put an extra page, taken out one of the back pages for like, oh, this is the next issue. And I think that would have really have done something different. And because of this, like, I think it would just add a little bit more to it. Now, kind of slowly going back to the bomb, Billy has mentioned that it's going to take 10 seconds. You know, that's how long that they get. And I think it would be easier to kind of teleport out. Like, you would have had that time to teleport out. But I do kind of think that literally it just malfunctioned and it just blew up straight away. Not enough time for like Tommy to get out. Although you don't see the body, and I could imagine that maybe if it has been 10 seconds, that he did teleport out, but maybe his beam got like knocked out somewhere and he's somewhere on the other side of the planet that doesn't remember, and he pops up from somewhere. I don't know if they're going to go back to the moon to see if there is just literally a power coin, if there's a morpher, which would be kind of interesting if there was. But because we've not seen a body, he could still be out there, and that's what I'm kind of feeling at the moment. Now we're back in present day, and there's something that doesn't kind of really make sense, and I think it's just because of one line, and this is just to me. I don't know if it makes sense to everyone, and I think that a little bit more clarification could have been done in there, because it doesn't really say anything, and maybe we might get it later on. But as Kimberly is talking to Selena, she says like, you know, the Power Rangers were 15, that they were recruited at 15 to fight. So by Power Ranger logic at the moment, by the timeline, like they would have been 16. So could they have got married at 16? Because I'm thinking that if this is running in kind of parallel to like the main timeline, Tommy would have come in. Lord Zed comes in at season 2. So let's say it gives it a year at that one, maybe a little bit more. Maybe it could have been 16, 17. It depends on when Rita and Zed get married, if it's in at the end of season 2 or season 3. I've just kind of thought of that one. But it depends on how old they actually are, because if they're 16, 17, could they have got married? Or is it just one of those things where they've put the ring on the finger and it's like, you know, we are technically married, but we won't get married until like we're of age. Like, so I don't know what the laws would have been in America at that time. I don't know. It's something that I think was a bit kind of weird to say, oh, we were 15. Like, she could have said, like, we were definitely a lot younger than what we were, or maybe around your age. I don't know. There could have been a way. I think I would have gone with the whole, we were young when we were drafted into Power Rangers, etc., and then kind of like taking it from there. Like, that would have been the better option in my eyes. Now, this is where I would have been a little bit more kind of wary of Selena. Out of nowhere, like, someone that looks like Trini has just come up and said, hey, you know, I am part of the family. I'm like, really? Like, okay, like, would you trust someone? Even though they have the morpher, I would still be wary. But obviously, Kimberly is talking to Selena. She's talking about the flashback. And then, you know, again, out of nowhere, she goes like, oh, this is where my power morpher was. I think that I would have just taken the morpher, put it on the side and gone, okay, cool. When you've gone, I will then put this and hide this so you don't know where it is. And yeah, it just feels like Kimberly just lowered a guard straight away, knowing that this could be almost anyone. And we do get that. It gets a whole transformation, because as soon as Kimberly gets her morpher out and it's like, you know, this is what it is, you know, Selena's like, oh, let me look at it. This is really cool. And then it doesn't morph, but then just turns into, like, I'm guessing Rita's child. Maybe it's Rita. We have no idea. But obviously she has Rita's staff. And what made me laugh in this and made me kind of think on how morphing is in general is that when, like, Kimberly grabs the morpher back from this person, she goes like, it's morphing time, pterodactyl, and then she gets hit in the face with the staff. And I generally didn't think like the staff would come out and it comes from the side, because in my kind of mind, I generally thought that when you morph, you kind of just instantly quick morph, not have this giant morpher plate like come onto your body or in front of you that actually makes you transform. So I generally was just like, that's kind of cool. So I really like, it's just a staff out of nowhere. And the fact that any monster could have done this to any of the Rangers back in the day, it's like, nope, just smacked. And yeah, literally the evil person of Selena takes the body of Kimberly, and we see Olivia. Olivia's here, everyone. Yay. Yeah, like Olivia is in here, and she just goes like, Mom, and then just sees that the morph is gone. It's like, oh my God. So obviously she knows where it is, or she found it. But I generally really like this issue. I'm liking the story. It's something slightly different. I feel like this could easily be like a lot more issues. I think we're only getting 4, and I think I would have had a few more issues to this. I think I would have kept it going for a little bit more time, because it feels like now you've got 2 more issues to kind of wrap it up. It's a 4-issue run, and I feel like in the next one it's going to feel rushed. And I think this could have easily been maybe a 6-comic run. That would have worked a lot better, and it would have given a lot more people incentive to do this and actually buy it. So I really wish it was 6 issues, not 4, because now it's going to be a thing of, boom, here is like, you know, she gets the morpher, she morphs, she goes off and fights, and then they've got to do the whole thing of like, we're all friends, and then they've got to defeat the big bad. So I don't know why it's only 4. I would have gone for at least 6 issues minimum, because then you have the chance to tell your story. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I am going to leave it there. What are your thoughts on this? Have you read The Return? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you very much for listening and watching. If you want to help out and support the channel, look at the Patreon as well as the channel memberships. And with that, I am going to leave it there. Thank you very much once again, and I'll catch you in the next video. I want to say a big thank you to all my Patreon supporters, and I wanted to shout out Kimono Cat. Your help goes a long way to help support the channel, and if you want to help support the channel, the links to my Patreon and channel memberships are listed below in the description.
あらあら、チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。以下のリンクから商品を入手することができます。